So not one dry eye in the building at Irv's funeral.
Yeah, that according to reports, which makes sense because I think a lot of people, you know, from everyone I've talked to who knew Irv Gotti personally, if you got a story, you got a story.
Yeah.
Thank you. Look at you knowing what to do with the mic. If you got a story, you got a story, right? So yesterday, Irv Gotti's funeral went down here in New York. It happened at Greater Allen AME Cathedral Church. It was a private ceremony, but there were videos that surfaced online. In attendance, you had all of his Murray Inc. crew. Ja Rule, Ashanti attended. I know some people were wondering if she was actually going to make it out. Lloyd, Charlie Baltimore, Jay-Z, Gayle King, Steve Stout, Hype Williams, Benny Boom, Angie Martinez, the Rough Riders crew. But of course, with Ja Rule being there, he stood up and he spoke to give his final words to Irv. Let's take a listen.
I just want to say, Irv, I love you. Everyone in this room loves you. You touched everybody in your own way in this room. I know everybody has their moments of that with him. So we are here, a celebration of your life, because it will live on forever. I love you, my brother. See you when I get there.
Yeah, and he was obviously really emotional. He had on some glasses in the beginning of his the eulogy that he did. He took the glasses off, just wanting to make sure that he was given the proper respects, and he spoke to the family and talked about, now Irv is at peace. But
they were brothers. I mean, he got he got him signed and started from the very beginning, and they were very tight and through thick and thin, and they were real brothers. So definitely rest in peace and condolences.
And I wanted to ask you, Envy, they also gave Irv like the little ride through the neighborhood. You know how like what they did with Nipsey? Yep. They gave Irv a ride through Queens one last time, and they took him past his neighborhood home, but they also took him past a park in Queens that they said was like really instrumental in his career.
So he's from Hollis, but he got his start as DJ Irv in the park. So Irv got his start DJing the basketball tournaments, DJing the park jams and the park things. He would just go up, set up, and back then there was no money. You just DJ because you just enjoy DJing. So that's how he got his start in meeting everybody in the locally in the streets, because that's the way everybody would congregate. They would go to the parks and ball out and meet girls, and girls would meet dudes, and that's where you got to start DJing.
You know what I was thinking too? You never know what people's relationships are behind the scenes. Like we don't really know these people. We just see interviews and we just see moments, so we assume things. Yeah. But if you have issues with a person when they are alive, but you love them enough to go to their funeral when they pass, then maybe you don't have the issues you think you have with the person. So you should probably smooth that out while they're alive.
I agree. I agree. And I think that when I mentioned that Ashanti was there, people were wondering if she was going to make it out. I remember when Irv Gotti first passed away, people were wondering if Ashanti would say anything publicly about it, and she actually did take the time to say it, and she talked about how she couldn't believe that things ended like this, and she always wanted him to be at peace. So I think, to your point, Charlotte, like when it gets to this point, it's like what's really important here, and it was her showing up for him, because he did do a lot for her in her career as well.
Got her signed it too, got her started as well.
Yes.
Well, prayers to his family. I seen 50 Cent was picking on Meech again.
Lil Meech this time.
Yeah.
Lil Meech this time.
Lil
So
Meech.
he posted and was talking about the fact that he found he had to put Lil Meech in rehab at some point, allegedly. So he posted saying, I'm going to read the actual quote. Give me a second. So he posted saying, I thought about it. I think he was uncomfortable with me and Mimi's relationship. He's talking about Lil Meech. He's talking about Big Meech being uncomfortable. I'm telling Mimi I don't want him doing drugs. He's telling him he's I don't know what this means. Something about using the X pill. He said he's telling him to chill, stop spending your money. He's telling him how much money he blew. People don't know. I had to send Mimi to rehab. Russell Hornsby peeped. He was high on set. He started throwing up at weapons test, and then Ian told him. Then someone told 50 that Lil Meech had whippets in his truck. 50 said that I said, what are whippets? And he looks, and it's the stuff that be in BB guns. So he's saying that at some point, Lil Meech was allegedly showing up to set high, and it was to the point when it came to substance abuse that he had to send him to rehab.
But the crazy thing is, though, like, I've been seeing Lil Meech lately since him and 50 been going, 50 been, because they haven't been going back and forth since 50 been picking on him, right? And he had been looking high, but I thought, I just thought that because BMF was like his everything, and that's gone now, it's like a beef, that he been thrown in that he ain't got nothing to do with. So that would push him to get high. I'm thinking that's why he been looking high lately, but
I just always thought he would just be chilling. I think the crazier part about this is that 50 is basically implying that his dad was influencing him to do this. Like, I think that's the crazier part.
What, to do drugs?
He literally is he's basically saying, like, because his dad flaunted his drug use at one point, he was encouraging the BS that the son was doing, and he's saying that Big Meech didn't like the fact that he jumped in the middle of it to try and like help the son. I thought that was crazy because I'm like, that's his son. Why would he want him to, you know what I mean? But I don't know. People are like, well, what is 50's stake in this? But he's saying, yo, I helped this family make over $5 million. Like,
I just want y'all to know, going from Irv Gotti's funeral to any story about 50 Cent is absolute insanity.
That is crazy.
Y'all are ridiculous. Y'all are ridiculous human beings.
Because I didn't have my picture.
No. Y'all are ridiculous. Y'all are ridiculous human beings. I can see Irv balking from the grave right now.
Why didn't you stop me in the beginning? You just let me go.
You was already too far in.
We could have paid respect to Irv.
Sorry, Irv. I didn't even think about the...
That was
Jess over here just doing our job.
Insanity. Look at each other like...
Y'all didn't even say nothing. Sorry, y'all. That was not purposely done. I was trying to wait for a photo for my second story and it hadn't come yet.
You
so
know, people gonna think you being messy.
No, I'm not being messy. I was waiting
they already
for.
think that.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
And that is all your fault.
That ain't my. Don't blame nothing on me. Crooked Wig Productions. They ain't got nothing to do with me.
Okay. Panda Face Productions. Panda Face Poodle. Don't play with me in here.
But to close up what you were saying, that's the reason why people are saying
Yes.
50 is that upset because he's allegedly put that young man in rehab.
I'm just trying to continue in the story. You just continue in the food.
I'm just closing it out because they were all over the place. That he put that young man in rehab. They gave that family millions and millions of dollars, and he was upset with what they did and how they came out. So that's the reason why they're saying it.
And we were not being petty.
And that is Jess with the mess.
It was a run of show thing.
Thank you, Lord.
Panda Face.
Don't get mad at me. I didn't do it.
All right.
Cohen.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.